Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi syrahli sadri wa yassirli amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Allahumma aftah alaina hikmataka wanshur alaina min qada'ini rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Dear respected speaker, Assistant Prof. Dr. Nurul Noha binti Abdul Molo, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters of the IIUM community, let us begin our program by reciting Kitab Al-Fatiha. It gives me great pleasure to welcome and thank all of you for joining this Integrity Talk number 2, 2023, organized by Integrity and Governance Unit, Management Services Division, IIUM. To all attendees, we would like to inform you that this talk can be followed through online Zoom and live streaming on the YouTube channel of IIUM MSD Competency Development. This is a friendly reminder to all participants to sign in to your attendance and fill in the evaluation form within 24 hours after the end of this program. We thank you again for your participation. It is also our great honor and pleasure to welcome our guest speaker, Assistant Professor Dr. Nurul Noha, and academic staff of Kuliah of Information and Communication Technology, KICT IIUM, to share with us her expertise and experience as an academician and administrator in the field of information technology, especially in the area of security. Dr. Nurul Noha will deliver a talk entitled Protecting the Confidentiality, Integrity, and Availability of Organizational Information. Respected guests and gentlemen, let me read a brief biography of our speaker. Dr. Nurul Noha Abdul Molo is an assistant professor at the Department of Information Systems, Kuliah of Information and Communication Technology, KICT. She obtained her Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, Artificial Intelligence, and Master of Science in Computer Science Information Systems from University Malaya. She studied Doctor of Philosophy at the University of Melbourne, Australia. Her Doctor of Philosophy research focused on the use of social media amongst employees, looking at the potential for leakage of organizational information and its impact on organizations. Besides teaching, doing research and consulting, Dr. Nurul Noha has held various administrative positions at the university and Kuliah Center, including Head of Department, Member of the University Audit Committee, and coordinating the ISO 27001 Information Management System or ISMS certification project for IIUM. She obtained a certificate for ISO 27001 ISMS Lead Auditor from EQS Asia Excel UK. She has also been actively invited to give talks on organizational information security by public and private sectors. With this, I respectfully call upon Assistant Professor Dr. Nurul Noha to deliver her talk. Please welcome, Doctor.
Thank you, Madam MC. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Can you all hear me? If you cannot hear me, you can let me know. Right. So first of all, thank you for the invitation to from the Integrity and Governance Unit, inviting me to give this talk about cybersecurity or information security, especially focusing on the protection of the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of organizational information. All right, so the outline of my presentation, I will give a bit of introduction, and then I will focus on the threats, cyber threats to organizations, and then we go to the threats to individuals. Yeah, so although the title is protecting the CIA or confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information, it is very important for us to understand the threats, right? The cyber threats to organizations, as well as the cyber threats to end users or employees, yeah, so that we are able to protect the CIA of organizational information. And then we'll talk about how to address these cyber threats through the protection of CIA, or confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information. And last but not least, we just go through a bit of cyber laws, or laws that are related to the cyberspace in Malaysia. All right, so just for a bit of introduction, I'm actually the leader for Cyber Sejahtera Flagship 2.0 and 3.0. So this is part of our activities, what we do to give back to the community. So we do awareness campaigns, on not just cybersecurity, but also cyber ethics, cyber safety, cyber parenting, and also data privacy and protection. So our audience among the PIBG members, Parent and Teacher Association, primary and secondary school students, university students, employees of organizations, even senior citizens, And recently we added a new audience, which is the B40 communities, basically in Selangor lah, right? And then not only that, not just giving advocacy campaigns or awareness campaigns on cybersecurity, we also want to help Malaysia to decrease the talent gap in cybersecurity, because Malaysia is actually aiming for 20,000 cybersecurity knowledge workers by 2025. So not just we are teaching our students at the kuliah, but also we reach out to the community so that the youth that we give awareness to, they have this ambition to become a cybersecurity specialist, inshallah. All right, so without further ado, just to brief about the current cyber world or digital world that we are in today. Okay, as of now, we have more than 8 billion people in the world, right? And then if you take a look at the internet users, versus the total population, we have about 64.4% or 5.16 billion internet users out of this total population. But if you take a look at Malaysia, last year, and this year we have about 32.7 million people in Malaysia. But this year, the internet users in Malaysia is 96.8%. So where are we in the world, right? We actually rank number 11 as having the most internet users in the world. So you take a look at worldwide this year, right? We are at number 11, just behind Singapore. So remember that these cyber attackers will go through countries or places where there are a lot of victims. So they can get more money for the cyber criminal. All right, so just a bit of sharing. This is the security incidents in Malaysia in 2021. So if you take a look at the graph, the one that I highlighted here, January was the MCO 2.0. And then June was MCO 3.0. And this is where, when people are at home, many people lost their job. Some people even committed suicide. And unfortunately, because they lost their job, they just lost hope of living. So there are a lot of issues, not just life issues, but also cybersecurity issues. So cyber attacks actually really increased. Some research say more than 200%. Some research say 600% increase of cyber attacks, especially during the pandemic and after the pandemic. Okay, and this was last year. No more MCO, but we can see that in July there was a surge of incidents, mainly due to online scams. So that's why we do not just go to schools or B40 communities. We also go to the last time we went to Pusat Activity Warga Emas, for the senior citizens, because they have the money, and they get the pension money every month, or they just get their KWSP money, and the scammers just know where to go. All right, so that's why they become the victims of a lot of online scams. Okay, so now cyber threats to organizations. So we are all members of IUM, either academic staff, admin staff. We are IUM family, right? So we need to take care of the security of ourselves as well as our organization. Okay, so where are these threats coming from? They can come from organized crime groups. Later on, I'll give some example. There are actually many, but the one that I will give you would just be maybe the most popular lah. And then from business competitors, threats coming from hackers, and anyone can become a hacker. right? Anyone, not just the paid hackers, but also our children, because some of them learn at school or they learn by themselves. What they do is just they go to Google and ask Google how to hack, and Google give, or now they go to ChatGPT lah, kan? They go to ChatGPT, how to hack, and the ChatGPT will give one by one how to hack. Step 1, step 2, step 3. So anyone can become a hacker, okay? And of course, we got cyber terrorists from foreign intelligence, but the threats are also coming from the employees themselves, right? Some of them are accidental, some of them are intentional. Inshallah, there will not be any intentional cybersecurity threats coming from the employees, but what we worry about is the accidental threats coming from the employees. And what are they? Internal threats. Yeah, they call it, it's classified under internal threats. And they could be in the form of leakage of organizational information and many others lah. Yeah. So other than that, we have also malware attacks. Number one malware that is so popular right now is ransomware. Okay, and ransomware is not just about malware. Yesterday I attended this conference, yeah, CIDES 2023, and the industry shared about a lot of more things about ransomware. Now ransomware is as a service, you know, and not just to get the exploits, yeah, but also there are agents, brokers that sell our credentials, yeah, for the ransomware attacker to do their job. And then we've got phishing and spear phishing or targeted phishing. We have DDoS or distributed denial of service attacks, intrusion of physical infrastructure, fake news, reputational issues. There are actually more than this. There are a lot of other exploits. There are SQL injection lines and so forth. Like, there are so many, but if I were to go through one by one, 1.5 hours will not be enough. Yeah, so imagine that I'm teaching this in one course, right, in one semester, but now I have to compress a lot of things in 1.5 hours. So bear with me. Yeah, so if you have any question about any other threats, feel free to either voice out your question or put in chat, inshallah. Okay, so now example of organized crime groups. Okay, if you remember in June 15, 2011, yeah, when Malaysia announced that they want to close down all torrents, yeah, illegal download platforms. So this anonymous group was so unhappy. They said Malaysia is taking our rights of accessing everything, sharing everything. So let's attack Malaysia, you know. So anonymous group of the world call for all hackers around the world, join me in Operation Malaysia to hack Malaysian governments and other platforms like in Malaysia, right? So that we are incapable of a lot of things lah, yeah. And then the anonymous group, I think there was another one a few years ago, but recently by Anonymous Group Malaysia, but they are not so anonymous anymore because some of them were being captured, yeah. This is what they wrote lah. Hello Malaysian, this is a wake-up call for the government of Malaysia. It has been a long time since we are silent. Be prepared, we are legion, we do not forgive, blah, blah. January 25, 2021. But alhamdulillah, some of the perpetrators were being detained. Eh? Okay. Now, remember I mentioned about internal threats. What we worry about is employees accidentally leak organizational information, especially those that are sensitive, secret, yeah, or confidential or restricted. Okay, so just a bit of introduction to information leakage. The breach of confidentiality of information, which originates from the staff inside. That's why it's internal threat, yeah? Inside an organization, which are employees, third-party workers, students, and so forth. And it usually results in internal organizational information being disclosed to the public domain, wherever it may be, social media, yeah? TikTok, SlideShare, and whatnot lah. Okay, it can be intentional and unintentional. Yeah, hopefully, like I mentioned earlier, not intentional lah. Yeah, because some people, they are being paid to release or disclose organizational information. Okay, or they simply are so unhappy with the bosses. I'm so disgruntled, I want to pay back. Yeah, I hope not like that. Not in IIM, I hope. We are in the garden of knowledge and virtue, but we cannot run away from unintentional or accidental information leakage. Okay, and this could be malicious, and non-malicious or even sometimes not really appropriate. Yeah, I think you can imagine what an inappropriate is all about. We are in Islamic University, but in our social media account, we show that we are not following Islamic teaching. Yeah, so that is inappropriate. And remember, reputational issues that I mentioned just now, it could somehow tarnish the reputation of the organization. All right, so these are some of the cases, around the world about the leakage of information, not just done by normal end users. If you take a look at the first case, which is actually the most popular social media leakage case by MI6 chief. Okay, it was not done by him, but it was done by his wife, in which her Facebook account was not even protected at all, and his children and his nephews and nieces. Okay, so before the UK government announced that this guy, or this MI6 chief is appointed as the new MI6 chief, the family of this person had already, exposed that on the social media. So remember that there are things that are in stages. Before it is made public, there is an embargo, right? You should not expose this thing or disclose certain information before the time that it is allowed for you to do that, right? So this is considered as leakage issue. And if you take a look next to that, Ministry of Defense in the UK, they leaked secrets, through Facebook and Twitter, if I'm not mistaken. Almost every month, there were 16 cases, in 18 months, and a lot of MOD secrets were leaked through the Facebook and Twitter. And then this US congressman tweeted his secret, it's supposed to be a secret trip, but he keep on tweeting his whereabouts. So the US government spent a lot of money to protect him and the people around him, but there he goes, tweeting his whereabouts from time to time. And another one, an Israeli military, because this military or army, they are allowed to use social media because they need to communicate with their family, right? But what happened was that one of this soldier, they just put that tomorrow we are going to this area, in Iraq, actually. Let's see. On Wednesday, we clean up Katana. And on Thursday, we got relinked, we will come home. Sorry, Okay, kat Malaysia pula. Pada aib bos dalam Facebook. Dia apa ni? 5 constable in Balai Polis Tampoi talk bad things about the boss, about the ketua balai, and they were given disciplinary action lah. Not so much of leakage, tapi something that is inappropriate, kan? And then we take a look at quite recent, 2017, Malaysian data breach sees 46 million phone numbers being leaked. I think you have you noticed about this in 2017, whereby you can actually download this Excel file which consists of this Malaysian, not just phone numbers, your full name, home address, and so on and so forth. So it was a very popular issue in Malaysia. And it is still happening, in 2023. Data breaches and information leakage is still happening, and it says that up to 138 out of 100 people. What does it mean? That means 100 people is repeating this leakage issues. Okay, they do it more than once. So 138 out of every 100 people has been affected with data breaches, information leakage, and so on and so forth. Okay, this is what I mentioned about the 46 million Malaysian private information being leaked. And in 2019, if you remember, when you purchased your online, you did your online shopping, if you remember, in October 2019, some of us did, our parcels were not even delivered until January 2020. Okay, why? Because of ransomware. I will not talk a lot of things more about this. I think you can go to or you can just Google and you can see a lot of newspaper article about this issue. Yeah. And in 2022, ransomware attacks in Malaysia surged over 37%, and now I think it's even more, right? So Palo Alto found that ransomware and extortion cases in Malaysia increased, with 11 reported cases across key sectors, yeah, or critical national infrastructure organization. Okay, I think you know what ransomware is, right? It's so popular nowadays that most people know lah what it is. Suddenly, na'uzubillah, you might receive an email or whatever messages from the ransomware attacker saying that your files or your folders have been encrypted. You need to pay me a certain amount of Bitcoin or whatever cryptocurrency in order for me to decrypt your files. Yeah. And this one, a student from UTHM became the victim. Yeah, among our earlier victim lah. Okay. So this student had to pay that. At that time, Bitcoin perhaps was still cheap, or only they maybe require 0.0 something Bitcoin. Yeah. So he had to pay about 2,000 ringgit just to get his thesis decrypted, yeah, by the attacker. But right now, Bitcoin is so expensive, kan? One Bitcoin is about how much? Maybe more than $50,000 US. Pengsan nak bayar, right? So be careful, yeah. So what you need to do is just to back up lah, yeah. Back up all your important files, yeah. Do not become like this student. Okay, he did not do his big backup, but he had to submit his thesis, had to pay 2,000 ringgit. That 2,000 ringgit can be done with a lot of things. Boleh beli smartphone baru kot, yeah. Okay, next about phishing or spear phishing. Spear phishing is targeted phishing lah. So let's say they target ITD staff, for example. All right. So they spoof the email address of that ITD staff in order to get credentials of RIUM employees, for example. I think you have found this. Actually, I borrowed this also from ITD. Thank you, ITD, yeah, for sharing the poster. So I'm reusing this poster, and it says here that be careful when you receive an email, especially if it appears to be coming from RIUM, yeah, or at live.rium.edu.my. All right. So sometimes it says that the sender appears to be coming from either campus administrator, ITD administrator, yeah. So you need to verify. Although it can look very real, kan, yeah, but you just have to verify lah. If you have a friend at ITD, you just call them. Is it true that ITD is asking for our username and password? Yeah, it is never true lah, actually. Yeah, you remember that IT administrator or personnel from the bank, LHDN and whatnot will never email you asking for your username and password. Never, right? So do not ever give in lah or click on any link in this kind of phishing email. All right. So when you receive such email, just report to ITD, yeah, and please just delete or don't respond. Or maybe you can save as evidence and then you report to ITD, yeah. All right. So DDoS attack, or sometimes we call botnets attack. Okay. It happens many times, yeah. Even before the Ukraine and Russia dispute. Even before that, yeah, I think 2011, 12, Estonia, the country, a European country, had no internet whatsoever, yeah, for 3 weeks. Yeah, why? Because of DDoS attack. So be careful when I mentioned about do not click any link from email or wherever. Yeah, you might want to hover on that link to see that whether it is really coming from that source or not. Sometimes it comes from some rubbish, yeah. Because if you click, you might install the command by the attacker, and then you become a botnet zombie, right? Or a botnet lah. So that's why what happened to Estonia was when they checked, yeah, I think thousands and thousands of people who their machines have been compromised. They become the botnet zombies. It was used to attack Estonia backbone lah, yeah, until the whole country was without internet for 3 weeks. Can you imagine? We do not have internet for 3 weeks, then, yeah. But I think what happened to Estonia was a blessing in disguise. Yeah, now Estonia has like one of the best cybersecurity experts, yeah, in the world. We had collaboration with EU last year or early this year, and they shared with us what happened, yeah. during the popular Estonian attack, and what they did and how they recover and so on lah. Okay, so remember that you can become a botnet zombie anywhere around the world, while the other parts of the world is sleeping. Yeah, the other parts are not, can. So they use our the power, the processing power of our machine while we sleep or while we are doing our job without us realizing, and we become the agent of this DDoS attacker. So do not click on any link, yeah. Or, you know, when you use Wi-Fi, public Wi-Fi, be extra careful lah, yeah, because sometimes through there also you can install all these things, yeah. Okay, intrusion. Okay, while we are looking at cybersecurity, do not forget the physical world. Yeah, perhaps you have heard about piggybacking, tailgating, and so on and so forth. Yeah, that's why it is very important for us to use our own smart card lah, yeah, to access building and so on and so forth. And if, let's say, at the back there will be some stranger just following you closely, can just, you know, have the courtesy to say Assalamualaikum, you know, who do you want to see? Because we do not want this unauthorized people to access our building, especially in the private areas lah. Okay, so or maybe they can clone the smart card yeah, to get access to data centers, yeah, because once they are inside the organization, for example, let's say data center, they can do more lah other than attacking from outside, from the remote, can. So be careful of the physical infrastructure as well. As an IUM student, perhaps student staff lah. So if there are students also here, we need to be alert lah. Yeah, if you see anyone, especially people that you do not know, a stranger perhaps without a smart card entering this building, for example, you might want to just tell them to maybe register, yeah, at the security office. Yeah. Okay. Next. Threat to organization. Fake news is also a threat, not just to us, yeah, but to organization. You can imagine a fake news coming from IUM, yeah, fake news coming from Ministry of Health about COVID-19, new MCO lah, whatever, kan. It is actually reputational issues, yeah. And as I mentioned earlier, during the COVID-19 pandemic, there were so many fake news. In fact, when our aeroplane, kan, MH370, kan, there were also a lot of fake news through WhatsApp and so on. MH370 has been found on paddy field in Kedah. Tiba-tiba, kan? And there are a lot of people who are distributing this information. Okay, some people are so believing. Okay, but just remember that whatever the news that you get, please verify lah before you want to share with others. Yeah. Okay, and a lot of these cyber threats are actually tarnishing the reputation of the organization. Yes, for example, when you go to iun.edu.my, suddenly you see this skull, okay, with some sounds, perhaps ha ha ha, you've been hacked, right? What does that mean? That means that our web server is not beefed up, yeah, with security practices. So that is a reputational issue. Okay, so but inshallah, so far I think we did not have any serious hacking cases, yeah, in IUM. But if you remember, we did read in the news about yeah, there was leakage, a data breach in and UITM, and some of my friends lah in this cybersecurity area, they said that IUM do not be so happy lah, you know, it can happen to you anytime. Okay, so we just have to be careful and keep on continuing beefing up or increasing or hardening all our servers, yeah, especially our critical servers, so that we will not, at least our reputation will not be tarnished whatsoever. But as I mentioned earlier, each and every one of us, we have the responsibility to take care of the reputation of the organization of our IUM. We are in Islamic University, can? So perhaps you want to check your social media account. Yeah, try not to post things that are, you know, against Islamic teaching, forwarding fake hadith, fake news, yeah, because sometimes we like to put on our profile saying that we are a staff of IUM, kan? So sama juga lah when we are driving, yeah, we know that this is IUM car, kan? Oh, kata Islamic, kenapa bawa macam peleset gitu, kan? Alhamdulillah, Alright. Now, cyber threats to individuals. Yeah, like I mentioned, why is it important to protect organizational information? Because through us, there could be so many other threats to the organization. Yeah. All right. So this is very individual in nature lah, about scams. There's so many types of scams. If we kena scam, yeah, if we are scammed and we lost a lot of money, do you think you are capable to go to work? Maybe you need some time to cool off, kan? So remember that not being at the organization means the information might not be available, especially if people refer to you about a lot of things. Yeah, they cannot refer to anyone else. So unavailability of information might happen, right? So that's why it's not just about confidentiality. It's not just about integrity. It's also about availability of the employees in the organization. Yeah, if you are not in the right state of mind, can you come and do your work properly? Can you become productive as usual? We are just human beings, kan? So that's why I need to share with you about these individual threats, threats to individuals as well. And just to share with you, love scam is, I think, the most popular scam lah, right? And especially it happens to lonely women. So women, please do not be lonely. Yeah, please go out with your friends and have fun. Okay. So what happened to these lonely women? Yeah, they befriend someone on Facebook or Instagram or whatever lah. Yeah. And that someone, these people, they are actually trained. Yeah, they are trained to lure these lonely women, and we post on our Facebook saying that alone lah, whatever. They know that you are lonely. Okay, so these trained people would really do whatever lah that makes you jatuh cinta gitu kan. And when you love someone, you can give anything lah. Yeah. So what happened is that these people are not even what they claim to be. Sometimes they say that they are blonde hair, they have blonde hair, blue eyes gitu kan. But in real life, very far from that. Yeah. But what happened was that, I think if you can Google among the first love scam issue, yeah, back in 2011 or 12, yeah, I was in Melbourne at that time. We were watching news. Suddenly my husband said, ni in Kota Damansara, among one of the popular love scam lah. So this lady from Sydney met his so-called boyfriend online on Facebook, claiming to be a businessman, blonde hair, blue eyes lah. But she withdrew a lot of money from her bank and came to Malaysia and met with this boyfriend. Okay, memang tak putih langsung. Alright, tapi because cinta punya pasal, she was willing face-to-face give all the money to this guy. Okay, and it was a documentary lah, so it was kind of interesting. Although that perpetrators were being detained, it was like a very big investigation case involving Interpol, Australian police, our own police, yeah, PDRM. But then again, after that lady is still in love with that guy. Cinta punya pasal kan, so berhati-hati. So if you take a look at this, and these people are not, like calang-calang, company manager, transport manager, pengarah syarikat, and they spend like millions, pinjam duit, did personal loan, just to konon-konon nak to help this so-called online boyfriend to do business lah, investment lah in Malaysia, and so on and so forth, right? So be careful lah, So ladies and gentlemen, especially gentlemen, please love your wife more. Don't make her feel lonely. There was a case when I went to a school in Bukit Ramang Putra kan. After my talk, I gave a cyber parenting talk, but then this family came and see me, telling me that their family was being kacau oleh Along, right? Because the mother-in-law borrowed money from Along just to give that money to the so-called boyfriend. Yeah. Sampai when you borrow from loan, these loan sharks kan, they can do a lot of things, not just to the borrower, but also to the family, so be careful lah, all right. Itulah doktor pun, doctor lost 94,000 in love scam, woman 54 lost in 1.4 million in love scam. Banyak duit diorang, balik buta-buta je dekat boyfriend online gitu. Okay, so other than that, we have other types of online scams such as mule account. Mule account, maybe some of you are already familiar, but just before the pandemic, a Bank Negara employee lah called me and said that, Doctor, I need to come to IUM because there was one of your lecturer became victim of Macau scam. But I need to also talk to you about your account because a lot of the victims are among university students. Yeah, they want easy money. They rent out their bank account to strangers. Okay, and these strangers are actually depositing illegal funds, money laundering. Yeah, and who will be caught? You lah. Yeah, and there was even a case among these bikers cyclist community kan, they have this WhatsApp group. One of the members said that, hey, anyone has got a bank account that has not been used, can I borrow? So bagi, yeah, and tapi that guy lah yang kena, yeah, yang meminjamkan, minjam pula tu, pinjam pula tu kan, bukannya rent dapat duit. Yeah, and when you lend your account like that, you yang kena, right? Tak pasal-pasal masuk court, yeah, and macam-macam lah, kena saman and whatnot. Okay, and Macau scam. So always remember that when you receive calls, I think I pun always receive, yeah, panggilan dari lembaga hasil dalam negeri, tutup je lah, tak payah dengar, yeah. No need to listen to all these things. Okay, be careful. So especially during the pandemic, yeah, scammers makin berleluasa. So MKN, Majlis Keselamatan Negara, came up, not just MKN lah, PDRM and whatnot, Bank Negara Malaysia also came up with a lot of posters, yeah, so that we will not become the victim. Okay, do not share your bank account, yeah, or your PIN number or your tag number. Similarly, when it comes to Telegram scam pun, please do not share or screenshot. Sometimes they say, hey, can you screenshot your Telegram chat? You know, I want to see what for, because they want to see your tag so that they can hack your Telegram account. Okay, so if let's say you receive a call from LHDN or whatever, just hang up. Perhaps if you want to verify, call LHDN, yeah, on your own, yeah. Lecturer, luckily not Gombak, it's Johor Bahru, lost 1.3 million in scam. Okay, kononnya coming from police call and then asking for money. Mana ada police call asking for money, and to avoid being detained whatsoever. And sometimes they say they're coming from LHDN and suddenly they said that, oh, I want to sambung you or connect you to a police. Boleh pula main sambung-sambung. It does not really make sense, yeah. But well, some people sometimes they are afraid, yeah. So they just give in lah, yeah. So that's why the scams really happening, yeah. Okay. Or sometimes they said that this one scammer menyamar sebagai anak, but they can menyamar sebagai anyone, yeah, for that matter. Jiran, siapa-siapa lah, yeah. Sometimes they use the Telegram. They will use the number, yeah, our own number, sometimes with our picture, kan. In WhatsApp, kadang-kadang they got our picture, but the number is different, right? So when it comes to money and someone want to borrow money from you, please do the extra mile lah. Call them personally, okay, if you really want to help, yeah, because sometimes this scammer, yeah, knowing that kita semua baik, kan. We want to help people. That is actually the main thing lah, why these threats are all happening, because human being, we have the nature to help each other and we want to avoid confrontation. That is our nature, and the scammers knows this, yeah, they know about this. So always check, yeah, even if it comes from your children or your parents, yeah, if they want money, call them, yeah. Okay, other than that, yeah, I mean, I'm reminding myself juga lah, all right. When we do our work, kan, especially after COVID-19, we are so used of online, macam ni lah, yeah, online environment, online meeting, online talks, and so on and so forth. Always remember, you know, to sit straight. Yeah, later on I will share with you lah. Yeah, have enough light, and so on and so forth, because it can also affect our physical health. Right, like back pain, neck pain, headaches, yeah, shoulder pain, frozen shoulder, arm pain, yeah. So sometimes when we use or hold our mouse, bukan tikus, tertikus, right? Your hand must be straight, kan? So that when you are doing this, so many times, you can have repetitive stress injury like carpal tunnel syndrome and so on and so forth. And of course, mata, computer vision problem. If you use smartphone, especially at night, lampu tertutup, it was dark, but then the blue light coming from your smartphone is not good for not just for your eyes, for your brain as well. All right. That's why if you want to take care of your health, you want to sleep on time, you might not want to access your phone before you sleep, at least 2 hours, because like your mind is still working, okay? And the blue light, there was a lot of research on especially young children, that they can affect the brain of especially young children. Okay, so try to minimize as much as possible. Take care of our health. If you are not healthy, we cannot come to work, we cannot attend our children, we cannot do a lot of things. So we do not want the cyber world become the reason for all these health issues. And there were also a research saying that among the youngsters nowadays, they like to wear whatever Bluetooth headphone, the big headphone and whatnot, and they like to play the audio so loud. Sometimes kita yang kat luar ni boleh dengar, they are so loud, it's not good for their hearing. There are a lot of issues about early hearing impairment among young people. When they reach 20 years old, 20 plus, dah tak dengar, ada masalah pendengaran. So itulah, we take care of our health. This is actually the area of cyber safety, not so much of cyber security, because we want to take care of our health. And COVID-19 have also seen a lot of mental health issues, like I mentioned earlier, ada yang bunuh diri, committed suicide because they lost their job and so on and so forth. So mental health is on the rise, but I would like to talk from the point of view, like if you are being cyberbullied, or your children being cyberbullied, or sexually harassed, ataupun you are the victim of ransomware and whatnot, and all the threats that I mentioned just now, it can affect you mentally. Issues like isolation, depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts and behavior, na'uzubillah, right? It's quite common, especially in this cyber world or cyber era, right? I remember counseling, the people from our own counseling unit came to KICT. That was even before the pandemic. They said that they need help from the lecturers to maybe just identify students that are having issues or problems, because they said that the number of cases are on the rise in IUM among our students, and when I was the head of department myself, in the early years too, maybe first year, we had maybe a few cases in a semester, and then we have few cases in a month, and then every week ada issues, mental health issues among our students, this suicidal behavior So when people are lonely, they do not have friends online. Macam itulah I mentioned to Sister Fauzia just now, I did not include anything about cyber parenting, tapi I just want to share with you, there was this girl from Sabah, 14 years old. She had perhaps no physical friends, but a lot of online friends, on Instagram. So when she posted her photo on Instagram, people, biasalah netizen suka kecam-kecam kan. They said that her hair tak cantik lah, you look ugly, and so on and so forth. So she came up with this Instagram poll. She was so sad, and she came up with this Instagram poll saying that, should I commit suicide? Should I kill myself because people say I look ugly? And guess what? Her friends said, majority of her online friends said, bunuhlah diri. And she did. She hung herself. So na'uzubillah, so these things, because when you do not have life outside your cyber world ni, you think that everyone are your friends, tapi bila kena kecam, tak resilient, koyak and whatnot but na'uzubillah, hopefully will not happen again. And parents, perhaps we want to pay attention to all these signs from your children. If your children usually appear to be talkative, like to share with you about a lot of things, suddenly they become so quiet, they become so secretive about their phone, perhaps they are being cyberbullied. Yeah, or perhaps, na'udzubillah, even worse, they are being the victim of sexual grooming. I did not include that in my talk today, but I just want to share lah. Yeah, so look at the changes in your own children, because if your children, anything happen to your children, na'udzubillah, can you go to work? Yeah, can you perform your tasks? Perhaps you will be on, leave for a long time. Okay, so we take care lah, yeah. We try to avoid all these things. It's not just about the company lah or the organization, yeah, but it's just about overall well-being. Yeah, taking care of our children, because our children, they are not mature enough. Yeah, if they are being kecam, yeah, like that, they are fragile, kan? So, pay attention lah. You should never use the gadgets as part of parenting technique. And our children is our amanah, kan? You nak makan, nak senang makan, you give your phone to your babies, to your 2-year-old child, yeah. Bersusahlah sikit, kan? They are our amanah, because these kids, once you give in to them, yeah, they will want more and more. Yeah, that all these games, social media, TikTok, they have this, they will increase our dopamine effect, yeah, making us to play games more and more, scrolling, kalau aku like kalau tak swipe tu kan, swiping all the time, and for all you know, 1 hour has passed, kan? Because that is the dopamine effect that is given to us lah, yeah. Whenever we do that, we feel the surge of euphoria, yeah. It's exciting and so on and so forth, yeah. So imagine our own children, yeah, they are not even matured. Of course, they want more and more. So you are in control. You should be in control, right? If your children are crying and crying, wanting to have our gadgets, yeah, you give in. Should not do like that lah. And worse, if you buy a gadget for your children, 2-year-old children and so on, maybe lah next time you should have something, another session on cyber parenting, boleh lebih panjang lagi. All right, now data privacy. Okay, I would like to thank Dr. Soni for sharing this infographic lah to me. Yeah, I've sought permission from Dr. Soni, so I think this is very important for us to know lah. Yeah, this is in IUN. Yeah, sometimes you can see that there are excessive collection of data of our students and data of our staff. Yeah. Sometimes we already know all this information, or at least we can get the information somewhere, yeah, but we still ask them to fill up, especially physical forms lah, yeah, and sometimes they are not being taken care. They just put anywhere they like, and all this information can actually be used by anyone whatsoever. For example, during COVID-19, kan, we have to jot down our name, phone number, kan, and how many cases that this scammers, attackers and whatnot, yeah, they are actually aiming for all this information, because they can use or they can sell your mobile number to marketers and so on and so forth lah, yeah. And this is having what's happening in physical world, yeah. What about in the dark web, kan? Yesterday, under ransomware as a service, kan, I was attending this conference. So other than buying the exploits, the ransomware exploits, they buy credentials, yeah, online, and they can get it from the dark web or even non-dark web, yeah. And when we talk about physical world, same thing, right? So try to limit the number of collection of this private data of our staff and students lah, as much as possible, yeah, because we do not want to give in to these attackers, yeah. And then third-party processor, vendors, and so forth, yeah, co-researchers also. Of course, we need to share, but try to limit. If it's not, tak perlu, it's not based on need-to-know basis, then no need to share a lot of things, yeah. Disclosure of student staff data to third-party, anyone asking for information, yeah. Sometimes when people call us, marketers calling us, whatever it is lah, any vacation ke whatever kan. So let's say you are not interested, they will say, can you give phone number of your colleagues who might be interested? Can you give? You should not, right? Unless if you get consent from that person. Yeah, otherwise you are actually invading the privacy of your friends. Okay, so remember when somebody asks you to give phone number of anyone, Yes, just don't give. Unless if your friend, kalau ada marketer, hotel vacation, whatnot, bagilah number phone. Unless they give consent, right? Otherwise, do not simply give anyone information, credentials, private information without their permission. Number 4, accidental disclosure at common computers or devices. Yeah, sometimes we are in public places. Yeah, sometimes we do our job code, task using our own computer in wherever lah, Starbucks, Mama, wherever there are Wi-Fi connection, kan. So try not to do any confidential task on these public places, because perhaps you might accidentally disclose some sensitive information about your organization. Number 5, loss of unencrypted drive. Okay, sometimes I think in IUM we always experience this. Especially in classroom lah kan, lecture hall and whatnot, we saw the thumb drive. Thumb drive siapa tertinggal? Yeah, and just imagine if in that thumb drive contains confidential information, right? Your students' results are confidential. Your friends or your colleagues' private information, their name, username, password, lagi lah. Their address, their phone number, they are all private information. Right? So if let's say you have all this information in your thumb drive and your thumb drive can be left anywhere, right? So anyone, not just curi or they have the intention to steal the thumb drive, but what about the information inside the thumb drive? So try not to put any confidential information on this mobile stuff, so because thumb drive is so small, it can just be misplaced everywhere. So try not to store any confidential information in your thumb drive, okay? And if let's say you need to do that, you might want to encrypt. Janganlah lupa password pula, or the keyword, but try at least to encrypt lah, put some password and so on and so forth. But for confidential information only lah, public information, perhaps you do not need to do that, Number 6, unnecessary disclosure at public board. Okay, sometimes we have that public boards lah wherever in the kuliah ke, or apa ni, the board kan, the electronic board dekat intersection, in front of the traffic lights tu kan. Make sure that only public information are being shared on that boards, or announcement. Okay, you might want to look again, is there any phone number ke, unless if it is consented lah. Whatever things that might be confidential or private, you might not want to disclose on these public boards. Number 7, communications, gossip, social media and whatnot. Sometimes I do see some of my colleagues taking photo of, kan tengah marking, sekarang ni zaman marking, musim marking kan. So you take picture, right, of your students' answer scripts. They are actually confidential. Then your the metric number of your students, they are actually private. Also sometimes can be public juga, but you do not want people outside IUM to see all those things, because remember that we have so many tools nowadays with AI tool and whatnot. They can really zoom, whatever picture that you share online, they can perhaps get more information. Or whoever lah, we are doing our job and there are this list of IUM staff and their personal information. You take picture, so penat sampai kemalam bekerja, contoh lah kan. You take picture, you post on Facebook and whatnot. You might disclose something accidentally, right? So try to refrain lah from doing that, especially if you are doing something that is confidential in nature. Okay. So social media, which is very much related to what I mentioned just now lah, perhaps, we want to stop and think before we post anything, right? Whatever we want to post, it's not just about confidentiality, it's also about, is it necessary or not? Okay, otherwise your posting might hurt other people, I also did not share it here. There was this mother of 3 or 2, a mother of 3, I think, 42 years old, committed suicide because her TikTok video went viral. Okay. Basically, I read some of the comments saying that something like that lah, like your house look like B40 or something like that, but you wear LV bag. Chanel bag, but pronounced LV and Chanel also not right, or something like that. There were a lot of kecaman, or comments from the netizen to this poor lady. So for us, it is maybe something that is funny. You're trying to be funny, but to that poor lady, she think that she failed as a mother, and she committed suicide because of that. Some of us are just not resilient lah. Perhaps some of us have got some mental illness. There were cases about suicide cases among the mentally ill patients. They already have bipolar disorder or whatever lah. Depression, anxiety disorder, and so on and so forth. And when they read all those comments, it affected them even more. Up to the point that they are having the suicidal thoughts and even suicidal behavior. Na'uzubillah. So that's why what accompanied the hadith saying that, to the believer of Allah on the day of judgment, say a good word or remain silent. So similarly, if you do not have anything nice to say online, just don't post anything at all, right? Or you can do not hurt other people. Do you want to become the reason of a person hurting themselves? So be careful lah. So basically, similarly, when you are in working in organizations, then you might be given some sensitive, confidential information, as part of your task. But do not share all these things on social media. Usually it's accidentally, like what I mentioned just now lah. Perhaps I want to share. When I did my PhD, I went to some organizations, and at one organization they just mentioned to me that there was an accidental leakage, but nothing to do with social media. But he said that they printed the list of staff who have been promoted, but before the announcement lah, and full detail, promoted with the salary increment and so on and so forth, printed on a public printer, and forgot to take at the printer. So somebody found it, tampal dekat announcement board. Not in IUM, don't worry. In another organization, a big organization actually. So leakage can happen anywhere, but with social media, it can be even worse. All right. So try not to take any picture or whatever and share it on social media, just to show that you are doing your job, you're staying late at night, blah, 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 right? But those things might be sensitive and leakage can happen. And make sure that you set your privacy and security setting lah, at least your friends only, not for the whole world to see, okay? Please try not to accept any strangers, because we do not know these strangers, who are they and what they are capable to do, okay? So perhaps you want to add only your friends lah. Ataupun sometimes they said that, oh, you are actually my friend from school, tapi sebenarnya bukan. You might want to check their background. Because through social media, you share a lot of things. You share photos of your family, your children, and remember that there are pedophiles out there, and who get so excited when they see pictures of children. And parents, please do not post your children while they are not wearing any clothes. Because Malaysia is actually top in Southeast Asia, number 1 in Southeast Asia for pedophile to, it's like the lubuk lah, for the pedophiles to go to, because many parents in Malaysia like to share their children's photos. Okay. When you play on online games, or the apps lah, sometimes the apps that you use in social media, they are not just allowing you to use that app or the games. Sometimes they are stealing your information. I remember when I first did my research in 2009, Facebook, the case of Facebook, you have to click on allow before you can play games or use the application. And below allow, it alerted you about, if you click this allow button, you will share your birth dates, your friends' credentials, your friends, information about your friends, the birth date of your friends, to this third-party developer. Because remember that all these games are not really coming from Facebook, or this application are not being developed by Facebook. They are being developed by users, users like us. So there might be users who are developing these games and apps just to steal your information, right? So just be careful lah, yeah. Ensure that the games or the apps that you are using has got nothing happen at the back, right? But sadly now, Facebook, when you wanted to play game, you just click play games here. And there's this tiny thing down there saying that if you click play game, dulu there are several levels, several layer. You click allow, you read what happened, yeah, what are the things that this third-party developer will take from you. Now they have eliminated that allow stage. You just click play game, and adalah sikit reminder, yeah, saying that, or warning, if you click play game, you will disclose your information, blah blah blah, yeah. And again, when I mentioned about the link, sama lah, yeah, either in email or instant messaging, you might want to think again, or you might at least want to hover on that link to ensure that it is actually written what it is supposed to be lah, because you do not want the link to download some malware, yeah. Okay, so panjang dah, sejam dah baru nak cerita how to combat cyber threats, kan? Okay, right. So through cybersecurity, yeah, through data privacy, through information security, and so on and so forth lah. So perhaps just want to share with you cybersecurity. That's what I mentioned just now. Cybersecurity, cyber safety are two different things. Tapi in Malay, it's called keselamatan cyber. Yeah, but they are actually different. When we talk about cybersecurity, it is the protection to the infrastructure, like networks, computers, our machines lah, yeah, applications, data, yeah. But the same thing that we want to protect. We want to protect the confidentiality. We want to ensure the integrity of information. We want to ensure that the information or system is available if you are the authorized users. Yeah, and later on I will zoom to each and every one lah. Okay, another term sometimes they say information security. Some people use it interchangeably, but they are actually a bit different lah. Yes, cyber is like protection of the cyberspace. Yeah, information security, protection of the information and the information processing facilities. So what does it mean by information security? We want to protect or to preserve the CIA. How to do that? We need to apply risk management. Yeah, we need to inform our users, yeah, the employees, and anyone who are using the information that the risks that are already adequately managed, yeah, so that they can ensure the CIA of the organizational information. Okay, and it's not just that, it's also to ensure business continuity, yeah, minimize incidents, yeah. So this is what information security is all about. Like, it's more about the information, yeah. This will share with you a bit about the latest version of the international standards of information security. Now it has been renamed, not just about information security, but they have added the elements of cybersecurity and privacy protection. All right, and they have these 4 domains: organizational controls, people controls, physical controls, technological controls. And there are about 90 plus controls underneath each label lah. Okay, just to share with the organization what are the things to be done in order to secure our information, the organizational information and the information processing facilities, yeah, whatever they may be, our laptops, servers, storage servers, and so on and so forth. Okay, and other than CIA, there are other information security properties, yeah, like authentication, authorization, non-repudiation, and others lah, identification, accountability, and so on and so forth. But we are just focusing on CIA. So to zoom into what confidentiality is all about, as per the title of this talk, yeah, we want to make sure that anything that is confidential, secret, top secret, should not be disclosed to unauthorized individuals. Okay, and not just individuals, also entities, processes. Yeah, what machines that can be used to process this maklumat terperingkat ataupun confidential information or classified information. You have to identify similarly wherever the storage may be. Okay, if you are speaking, you are talking about some confidential information or gossiping, right? Make sure that you are not disclosing verbally any confidential information to unauthorized people. If you are working on the same project, you are both accessing to the same level of confidentiality, or sometimes we call it security clearance. Yes lah, you can talk to that person, okay? So because you need to talk or discuss because you need to do your job. But outside of that environment, people with no authorization to know about that information, you should not talk to them about it. Okay? Or you should not write it on paper, yeah, if it is confidential. If you are saving it on whatever servers, tapes, or removable drives, yeah, remove thumb drive and so on and so forth, make sure that, like I mentioned earlier, you might want to encrypt, those removable devices. Okay, so according to the Malaysian law in the government punya law Malaysian government, we have several classification kan, open, restricted, confidential, secret, top secret, ataupun dalam bahasa Melayu terbuka, terhad, kulit, rahsia besar kan. So whatever this type of information, you have to protect, whether in verbal, whether in physical media on paper, whether in digital media, right? You have to protect at all costs. Now, integrity of organizational information is different to the integrity of human being lah. We're not talking about human being here. We're talking more about the information. Remember that things are made public. We have to take care of the accuracy and the completeness of information even more, because it's public information. We do not want the public to get the wrong message. Like I mentioned just now, the best example would be your website or web-based defacement. Web defacement, sometimes they call it cyber vandalism. You go to na'udzubillah, ium.edu.my, suddenly you see this anonymous logo ke, skull ke, whatever. I think recently Jabatan Immigration Malaysia, kan, the website had been hacked. And there was this people like crying ke apa benda entah, just to give message that they can hack. They can hack the web server of Jabatan Immigration. So we do not want that to happen to our UMN, inshallah. All right, so that is an issue of integrity, right? We want to make so that people, have trust in us, trust in the information that we give, right? In terms of accuracy, the consistency, reliability of the content of information that we share, to the public, to anyone for that matter. As opposed to human integrity, it's more of the practice of being honest, showing consistent and uncompromising adherence to strong moral and ethical principles and values. So in ethics, integrity is regarded as honesty and truthfulness of accuracy of one's action, which is different than the integrity of organizational information. But again, we have to be ethical in whatever we do on daily basis. In fact, to practice information security, cybersecurity is actually our obligation. Availability, things that are available to you, or you are the authorized person or entity to access to the system or information, it has to be there upon demand, right? So similarly, when you go to ium.edu.my, tak adalah cakap 404, kan? Page not found. We do not want that, right? Or whatever, some problem lah. Okay, so you are the authorized user, you want to access the website, you want to access to the web application, for example, online banking and whatnot, if you are the authorized user lah. So it refers to the ability of infrastructure to function according to business expectations during its specified time of operation. But sometimes this online banking site, they ada time dia where they do maintenance, kan? So that one tu jangan marah lah, because Maybank or whatever banks, they need to do their job, to maintain, to do backup and so forth. So there will be some downtime, but they usually do that after midnight, kan? So you can still access to your online banking sites, but if it is not available, it is a problem and you can complain. So it ensures people, employees, customers, suppliers, partners can access the information if they are allowed to access lah. Okay, so further, how to to go about this. Yeah, so these are some of the security controls or strategies that we need to look at. Yeah, it's not just about firewall, it's not just about IDPS or whatever technical things. Yeah, but it's about the overall people, process, and technology. Yeah, we need to have all these things. Technology alone will not solve cybersecurity problem. We need all these three. All right. So having you here, Alhamdulillah, okay, this is what IUM is trying to do, to empower you with the knowledge, to give you with the awareness, yeah, about information security, cybersecurity, about being a good employee, and so on and so forth, right? So through this platform, through security education, training, and awareness, yeah. That's why some of the IT staff also, they are being sent for training, perhaps firewall training and whatnot, yeah. And for everyone, I mean everyone, not just the lower level staff or middle level, the top level management staff also need to be aware about cybersecurity. Yeah, because remember that as you go higher, yeah, to that level, there are more confidential information that you can access. Yeah. Okay, technology, of course, we need to have all these tools. We need all these tools to beef up our security practices of the servers and so on and so forth. Yeah. So we need to develop, design, and implement security systems, tools, and techniques to address whatever issues. And we need the processes, yeah, the policies, yeah, that are in line with cybersecurity, about protection of information, protecting from what? Yeah, we want to ensure the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information and information processing systems. So jangan marah lah, tiba-tiba ada banyak policy kan, you have to follow, right? Because these policies are being developed for a reason, right? We want to protect our information, we want to protect about a lot of things, yeah. But of course, sometimes as a human being lah, it is not something that is convenient. Security is never about convenient. You have to work harder, you have to do extra mile, yeah, to achieve cybersecurity, to achieve even the safety, your own safety pun, right? So we have to follow lah, inshallah, yeah. Because, yeah, like I mentioned, they are created or developed for a lot of reasons, yeah. Okay, document security. Remember that I mentioned that confidential information or restricted information and above, even in printed form or physical form, need to be taken care of. Sometimes we forgot, we're talking a lot about the cyber, but we forgot about physical thing, okay? So similarly, any files that contain confidential information should not be accessed by unauthorized people. Okay, so that's why kalau dalam government, I think here pun more or less the same. We have to put printed document inside some folders. Kan ada tak contoh macam ni contoh kan, ada information classification ini dalam government lah. Kan kalau terhad dalam folder putih, sulit dalam folder hijau, rahsia folder pink dengan X besar-besar, ya, besar folder yellow with X juga. But of course lah, I think I pun tak ada access to rahsia or rahsia besar, up to sulit je lah kot, ya. But still, when you're working with all this type of information, put it in the specified folder or label properly, yeah, and please make sure that no one without authorization can access, yeah. So kita nak prevent tadi lah, yeah, we want to prevent leakage, we want to prevent any types of violation, right? So, and we want to enforce a policy of official secrets and classified documents, yeah. I hope that people are aware this is considered as confidential, so you should not take picture and post on social media, yeah. Some people sometimes they say they do not know, yeah. So the control on official secrets and classified information, yeah, for itulah kita ni government ke tidak ke tak sure, tapi kita kena jaga jugalah, right? Maybe we are partly government, yeah. We have to follow lah all this, yeah. Know how to manage classified information, like I mentioned earlier. Know where the documents should be stored. Know the documents is in compliance or not with the security policy or document security policy, and assign officers with legitimate access to the documents, yeah. I think some of the information I got from this Arahan Keselamatan book, the black book, yeah, from CGSO. We work closely with CGSO. We came up with the master program, yeah, Chief Government Security Office under the Department of Prime Minister. We actually work with them, and we have a lot of master students from CGSO lah, yeah, and some of them dah naik pangkat, yeah, jadi high position, yeah. So that's why we are being given this black book, yeah. And we are actually part of the consultant lah of putting the ICT security portion in this black book, yeah. So this is the classification tadi. So remember that whatever form that the information is in, whether it is in digital form or physical form, it has to be classified. If it is sulit, letak sulit, yeah, or put a watermark or somewhere confidential like that, yeah. It has to be labeled properly, and similarly have to be handled properly lah. Do not just put on your table and you go to toilet. Yeah, you need to put it inside your drawer. Kan? If you're handling sensitive information or confidential, restricted and above lah. Yeah. Some of us are working in rooms, alhamdulillah, no problem. So make sure you lock your room before you go anywhere, toilet ke, makan ke, and whatnot. Yeah, but if you're working in shared places, put in your drawer kunci. Yeah, if it is confidential and above lah. Where you store it also, yeah, it's important. Like I mentioned just now, delivery of that information pun, yeah, kalau kat government tu rasa-rasa besar tu saya letak dalam briefcase, need to put in the briefcase, kena ada rantai lah, apa benda lah kan. Yeah, when we want to deliver the physical classified information, there are certain ways of doing that. Retention, how long should we retain? Yeah, the information. How long should we retain answer scripts, for example? How long should we retain the confidential things or information that we are working on? Okay, and let's say you want to, salah lah, there are some problem or mistakes, can you just crumple that confidential piece of paper and just throw it in the dustbin? You should not, right? You should have to shred. Yeah, you have to shred the confidential information. So in terms of disposal, yeah, so it's not just about in the creation of this confidential information, yeah, from the creation, in the operation, retention, of course, even until disposal of the confidential information, right? There were cases whereby if you sometimes maybe might be aware, some of the servers or hardware, any type of hardware, yang nak kena dispose, and there are always people who are interested to purchase this disposal items or disposal hardware. Sometimes they call it e-waste, yeah, electronic waste, in terms of storage and whatnot lah. There were cases of the hard drives being disposed, but when they access those hard drives, they can access to a lot of confidential information, a lot, yeah. So before you want to dispose storage media, you might want to consider crushing it, at least degaussing it, yeah, ataupun crush lah. I mean, you can go to YouTube and Google lah, inside Google data center or physical security of Google data center and so on and so forth. They show you that if before they want to dispose any hard drives, they will really crush drives before they dispose, right? Or things that you might want to do if you do not have this crusher machine, you degauss lah, you delete, make sure you delete all the content in the storage devices before you want to dispose, yeah, because a lot of leakage of confidential organizational information are being leaked through this disposal, yeah. So ni dah nak habis dah, ya. So what do we need to do as a staff or a student of IUM? Yeah, I'm not promoting Windows, and I do not get any commission from Microsoft whatsoever. So whatever type of operating system, please use an original license. If you're purchasing new laptops, you might want to add maybe RM100, yeah, sometimes just 100 lebih sikit je, you can get the licensed software. And I think right now a lot of the laptop or whatever lah, laptop, desktop and so on and so forth, they already bundle with this license OSs. So kalau tak ada, bayarlah sikit, right? Why do we need license OSs, especially OS? Because it comes with other security features like personal firewall, sometimes embedded with anti-malware solutions. Yeah, so tak payah nak beli. You do not need to purchase all these things. Yeah, tapi nak tambah pun tak ada masalah lah. But what is more important is that if you are purchasing this original license, you can get the patches. we need these patches because remember that who are doing all this programming, who are developing all this software, human being. We humans, we make mistakes, right? So there will be missing lines of codes and whatnot, so there will be bugs too. It's not really bug lah, it's actually sometimes just a missing line of codes can give some problems, so this functionality issues, security issues must be patched. So that's why whatever software that you have, you need to update from time to time. You might want to check your update to bila. Kalau update pukul 1 pagi and your laptop is not even on at that time, macam mana, right? Or if you receive the alert saying that, updates are ni kan, tengah dijalankan, so please do not just force shutdown. You need that patches because you need to patch lah whatever holes, bugs to ensure the functionality and security of your OS. It's not just about OS lah, any software for that matter. So Alhamdulillah, kita in IUM, we can get original license. Even kalau you beli laptop baru and whatnot, and tak ada OS, I think you can go to ITD and you can get the original license. I think we have purchased the campus-wide license for all software. Not like all, I mean, OS, for Microsoft, yes, for the Office and so on. So tak payahlah go to Lawyat or wherever, you purchase 10 ringgit kan for this software, because what you will get, you can get extra software, backdoor, Trojan, whatever type of malware, right? Which is the reason why Malaysia is top 10 in the world of always being hacked, because Malaysia suka beli pirated software. Kan, yelah sebab software original mahal kan, but Alhamdulillah we are in IUM kan, so Adobe software pun no need to purchase, we can use the Photoshop, Illustrator and so forth, so jimatlah sikit duit kan, and your machine insyaAllah can be used much longer, okay? So for personal safety and security, please never give out your personal data. Ni nak recap balik lah, not to recap whatever we have covered just now. Do not give out your personal data over the phone or email unless you are completely sure the line of the phone line or email is secure and or the recipient is trustworthy. Do not open attachment from a sender that you do not know via email or messaging service. Do not click or download any links in spam emails or even not spam lah. Or other messages coming from unidentified sources. Check the authenticity of the organization involved. Calling the companies using the number on their official website. Do not use a number yang the scammer bagi. Kadang dia bagi kat you, dia kata, okay, you can call this number to blah 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 blah. Memang macam like legitimate number lah, but actually bukannya. So please use the number that is provided in the official website, LHDN ke whatever lah, mahkamah and so forth. Use strong passwords that people will not guess, and do not share them with others. But some of us are sharing a lot of things. I mean, obviously we're sharing a lot of things on our social media, and our password is based on that juga. So for example, let's say I'm a Arsenal fan. I'm not, but I'm just saying, Arsenal fan. So you punya password pun Arsenal fan, gitu, right? Or birthday of your loved ones, kan? And you share happy birthday to boyfriend, girlfriend, husband and whatnot, anak ke whatever. Please do not use birth dates, as passwords. Nama-nama manja our loved ones, couple with their birth date juga pun, do not use that, because the attacker knows that already. They will try all means to guess your password. Okay, so at least strong password lah, passphrase that consists of uppercases, lowercase, symbols, numbers, something meaningful to you. It's easier for you to remember, but it's difficult for people to guess. Be vigilant about IUM policies. It's not about menyusahkan you lah sebenarnya. It's just to protect IUM information. Okay, information of what? Of the staff, of the students, the documents, right? So policies are meant for a reason. They are developed for a reason. Okay. Okay, ingat, siapa-siapa boleh menyamar. Tidak kenal jangan layan. Gitu. Okay, so nak share kita IUM kan. So this one was developed by Encik Faris, was shared by Prof. Fauzan, Prof. Datuk Dr. Fauzan. Thank you, Prof. Fauzan. So I'm using this in a lot of my talks. Surah Al-Hujurat very meaningful sebenarnya, very much related to me especially, di zaman kita bersosial media ni kan. So sebenarnya banyak ayat-ayat dia yang memang sangatlah relevant for cyber safety and even security, sabar, menyiasat, if you receive any news, make sure that you check the authenticity, the validity of the information, before you share to others lah. Macam tadi MH370 dijumpai di sawah padi, dah jumpa lah, forward kat semua orang kan, nanti semua orang jadi jahil. Mendamaikan, kalau ada orang try nak gaduh, janganlah letak minyak dalam api kan, jangan menambah-nambah. Damaikan sepatutnya, right? Bertindak dengan adil, jangan mengejek-ngejek. Similarly, we cannot talk to other people, or label people the labels that they do not like. Similarly, in social media also do not do that, kan? Jangan menghina, jangan guna nama yang boleh menyinggung perasaan, elakkan anda yang negatif. Tiba bahasa Melayu, minta maaf. Okay, try to avoid all these negative things. Do not spy, do not stalk or cyber stalk each other gitu kan. Jangan berkata-kata di belakang. So do not talk bad things about other people lah. Create WhatsApp group lain kan. Itu. Right? Sama lah in physical world dengan cyber world is the same. Sama je dosa dia kan buat macam gitu. Okay. But just nak share lebih lanjut about Surah Al-Hujurat ayat 6, I think this is very, very important to all of us lah, because Allah dah mention, right? For those who you have believed, if there comes to you a disobedient one or whatever information lah, that you receive, investigate, otherwise you will harm other people out of your ignorance and become whatever you have done regretful, or you might regret lah for what you did. So whatever information that you receive about anything, about hadith, about IUM, check first lah, before you want to share with others. Either share verbally ataupun tak tahu lah betul ke tidak, tapi kan gitu kan, you might want to check, check first the validity of the information before you share. Either you share verbally or you share on social media and so on and so forth lah. Okay, so right, physical ergonomics, kan? So this is a reminder for myself, because I also have frozen shoulder lah, carpal tunnel and whatnot lah, and of course my cermin mata, my glasses keep on lebih tebal dan tebal. So when you want to work, if you have a smartwatch, it's good that you follow lah. Kalau dia kata dah sejam tu, stand up and do some exercise, or at least do some stretching, because it's good for you. Otherwise you might get macam back pain, so relax your shoulder. Dah habis. At my view lah. Alright, so make sure that your shoulders are relaxed, you have other back support. Make sure you sandar, sit straight. Your arms should be straight sebenarnya, especially if you are using mouse. Otherwise you might get carpal tunnel syndrome. Okay, everything lah you try, tak adalah nak kena really measure, degree and whatnot, but I think if you can sit comfortably, you boleh lah. It should be ergonomic. The chair that you use pun mainkan peranan juga, but most importantly, maybe you want to stand up, if not every half an hour, maybe every hour. It's a reminder to myself, really. Right, so we do not want to be sick, kan? Physically, mentally, so we might want to follow the ergonomics lah, Okay, kesejahteraan cyber, hormati diri dan orang lain, respect each other lah, whether in physical world or in the cyber world. Always, make sure that you might not give most threats to your friends, kekal berhubung di dunia sebenar. Please do not just spend your time online playing games, social media and whatnot. You need to have physical activities with your friends, If you found anything, you might want to report. That's why in IUM, kita ada help desk and whatnot, kan? So anything, report, rather than cakap-cakap, yes, internet problem aja, Wi-Fi, blah, blah, blah problem aja. You have to report. Otherwise, how can the authority know about the problem? Okay, and last but not least, maybe you want to set your own rules lah. Self-regulation is very important. Perhaps you want to do some physical activities. Perhaps after half an hour of doing work sitting, you might want to stand up, stretching, and pergi toilet ke, ambil air and whatnot lah, ya. Okay lah, sorry ya, ada lagi masa tak? Ada lagi masa lain sikit boleh? Okay, saya belum nak sentuh sikit aja sebab kita nak jadi accidental outlaw. We do not want to become the accidental outlaw. Of course, you might get more information from our colleagues from ICOL, tapi this is just some ni lah, ya, sikit je. So we have a number of cyber laws in Malaysia, but I would like to share with you dua je, ya. So we do have CCA, which is Computer Crime Act 1997. These are some of the summary lah. Yeah, you should not access. That means you cannot hack sebenarnya. If you access any computer material without authorization, you might be imprisoned for not more than 5 years or fine not more than 50,000 ringgit. If you facilitate more offense, yeah, dah lah hacking, lepas tu buat benda lain lagi, yeah, you might get not more than 10 years of imprisonment or not more than 150,000 ringgit of fine. Unauthorized modification, you access ataupun you are the legitimate user but you did unauthorized modification, yeah, whatever that may be lah. Contoh ium.edu.my tadi tu letak gambar tengkorak lah, contoh lah kan, unauthorized modification. If not causing injury here can be financial injury, yeah, mental health ke whatever. Not causing injury, not more than 7 years, up to 10,000 ringgit, 100,000 ringgit or both, yeah. Kalau cause injury, financial injury and whatnot, okay, not more than 10 years of imprisonment or not more than 150,000 ringgit or both. Wrongful communication, not more than 3 years. Abetments or providing assistance or obstruction of search pun ada dia punya ni lah, ya, penalty and whatnot. So example, hacking, stealing information, electronic funds transfer fraud, distribution of pornography, internet cash fraud, credit card fraud, yeah, might be covered under this act lah. And then PDPA, this is about private personal data, yeah, Personal Data Protection Act. So you need to understand that these are the types of personal data that you should protect. You can start with yourself first, and please take care of your friends, your colleagues, your family members' personal data as well. Otherwise, nanti if a marketer call you, ask for your friend's number, and you will simply give without authorization or without permission, yeah. So names, address, phone number, personal, it's private, yeah, bank account information, credit card information, health records, yeah. Do you know that health records, patients' data or health data, some say that it's 20 times higher or more expensive than banking information. All right, so health records, they are private, and you can see that a lot of ransomware attacks are happening on hospitals, not just in Malaysia, but other parts of the world. Just to share with you lah, when we invited Tomila from cybersecurity US, yeah, he shared about there was this hospital under ransomware attack, and because of that ransomware attack, the doctors could not access medical files kind of a patient, so a child, a budak-budak meninggal because during that ransomware attack, because of not timely access to the information, yeah, and not timely treatment being given to that poor boy, right? So ransomware not just attacking the hardware or software, but also can cost life, yeah. So that's why health data lagi mahal lah, it's more expensive than even financial data. A person's political opinions is actually private, ladies and gentlemen, yeah. But we can see that especially before Pilihan Raya, everyone wants to give their opinion, yeah. And you should, if your own, fine lah, because you are willing to you know, expose your political opinions, but do not share political opinions of others without their authorization, yeah. Religious belief is also considered as private information about private data. Unfortunately, PDPA does not apply to federal government or state governments. As we speak, they are being revised lah. Yeah, the PDPA Act has been revised. I'm not sure whether they are going to include government or not. And then I would like to share with you the highest amount of fine, yeah, for unlawful collection of personal data. Yeah, kalau you cannot share without authorization, let alone selling private data of other people. Let's say lah, you share lah your phone number of your friends. You give 10, I give you 100 ringgit. Contoh, right? You might be fined, okay, not more than 500,000 ringgit, or in prison not more than 3 years. Yeah, so these things we have to be alert about lah. Maybe we say we do not know, but there is no ignorant kan. Kalau you are ignorant, you say tak tahulah. Tak tahu in the eyes of law, still kena tangkap. Yeah? But if you do not know in terms of policy, boleh lagi. Yeah? If they say, oh, I tak tahulah, UIA policy, I do not know that IUM policy is like that. That one is, boleh dimaafkan lagi. Yeah? But if you are ignorant about the law, no, tiada maaf bagimu. Yeah? Okay, so we need, just to share with you, my colleagues from ICOL, yeah, led by Prof. Ida Madiha, Dr. Soni, Dr. Mahyudin, Prof. Nobik, myself, and some other members lah, yeah, from UM and from prosecutor ni. Among the consultants for National Cybersecurity Agency, we are actually developing the cybersecurity bill for Malaysia, because CCA, the Computer Crime Act, is not enough lah. It's more about individuals, but the cybersecurity bill will be on critical national infrastructure. Yeah, so like energy, telco, even air, agriculture, food, and so on and so forth. Those are critical national infrastructure. So those organizations need to really follow the cybersecurity bill lah, right? So inshallah, once it is come out, I think it will be. It was on the news already. This is nothing secret about it. It will be tabled in the cabinet, I think, on the 19th of July. Yeah, so please make dua. Yeah, once it has been passed in the parliament, nanti it will be inilah, yeah, diguna pakai, inshallah. I guess that's all from me. Thank you. I'm sorry for taking extra 5 minutes of your time. Now I give back to the MC.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Noha, for the very, very interesting and informative sharing. So I guess it is particularly appropriate currently considering our nature nowadays, where our dependency on technology is inevitable, and then we are heading towards digital transformation 4.0. So actually we have received a few questions from our audience, but we are still we would like to have more questions from our audience. Yeah. So the first question is from our CELPAT lecturer, Brother Akmal Hakim Muhammad. So the question in Bahasa Melayu, yes. Assalamualaikum Doktor, perkongsian yang menarik. Saya nak tanya pendapat Doktor. Saya selalu dapat panggilan daripada nombor yang tidak dikenali. Ada tak cara untuk semak sama ada mereka ini scammer atau tidak?
Okay, so
Terima kasih, Doktor.
Thank you for the question. There are some apps that you can install, like for example, Truecaller. Yeah, you install Truecaller, and this Truecaller can access lah, can tell you whether it's a scammer. Macam scammer, jangan pick up lah, something like that. Yeah, you can just sebenarnya Google lah, but you have to be careful. Truecaller, I think inshallah okay, tapi there might be other apps that being used for another purpose. Although they help you to identify phone number of a scammer, at the same time they might somehow steal your information. So if you want to download, you make sure you look at the review. Yeah, Play Store and whatnot. Yeah, look at the review. If you think that the review is okay, it is based on the review, the app is trustworthy, then you can use it, inshallah. Right? So look at the star lah. Kalau 5 star tu inshallah, tapi kalau macam 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, you might want to think again. Right? So there are several apps that you can install, for example, Truecaller, to identify. Yeah. But basically kadang there would be people who are not in your directory kan, ataupun maybe not identified by the app tu sebagai scammer and whatnot. You might need to get phone calls juga from, kan kalau you beli barang ke kan, the delivery guy will need to call you whether you are around. So sometimes nanti kan tak sampai pula barang kita kan. Jadi just buat self-regulation. Katakanlah you dapat call, tiba memang automated punya suara kan, panggilan ini daripada lembaga hasil dan letak je lah kan, panggilan ini daripada whatever lah, macam-macam lah, LHDN lah, even sometimes JNT lah, ya. So automated call tu just kalau I lah, I just buat tak tahu je, delete je, jangan layan pun, sebab while you layan sometimes takutlah dia access kita ke apa benda. But at the same time, I would like to remind I think recently, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, there was an issue about wedding invitation, and you install wedding card kononnya. Yeah, so remember that any file with the extension .apk or .exe ke whatever, jangan download. Yeah, whatsoever, especially APK ni lah. Dulu diorang guna, they use this for yang cleaning service, kan? Oh, RM30 sejam, oh murahnya. Ataupun RM20 sejam, download this APK file. Ya, tapi what happened is that habis duit you pun hilang lah and whatnot. Scammer will find a lot of ways to do this. So we have to be slightly ahead of these scammers, insyaAllah. Alright, so ingat kalau apa-apa call yang pelik-pelik tu tak payah layan. Ya, letak je. Ataupun install Truecaller, insyaAllah.
Okay, thank you, Doctor, for the explanation. We have another question from Raz. This is our Zoom question, ya. So, salam Dr. Noha, boleh share sedikit maksud algorithm language or pattern yang diguna dalam dunia IT in layman term? Thank you, Doctor.
Payah juga cerita. Right. So algorithms, there are a lot of algorithms. So which algorithms are you talking about? Kan? Is it AI algorithm? Algorithm ni, perhaps you can also say codes lah. Yeah, codes. So whatever we want to do, kan? Even I myself can come up with my own malware. Gitu. Let's say lah, kan? Kalau I terror, I can code anything and I can say Nuha worm, Nuha virus. Dulu kita ada Malaysia virus. We have Morris worm. Right, so if you are good in coding, you can code anything, right? So the coding perhaps can be also called algorithm techniques and whatnot. So similarly, in AI environment, when we call it which algorithm that we are using. So it's just like perhaps lines of codes, yeah, coding that is being used for a lot of whatever purpose, as an app, yeah, as a software system development, as a mobile app, yeah, or as a worm or a virus, yeah, or as AI tool, right? So perhaps dapat menjawab lah soalan itu.
Yeah. So we also have 2 questions from YouTube. First user Hasrunuha. So the question is, will there be an issue on data privacy and confidentiality if we are using, i.e. ChatGPT in doing our work for the office, for example, minutes of meeting or company financial report?
Using AI tools?
Yes, AI tools.
In reports,
Yes.
In terms of security, I have not heard or read any case, yeah, with regards to how ChatGPT or whatever AI tools that can, jadi threats, jadi ancaman kepada organisasi. But I would say ancaman to us, our brain, kan? We want things to be easy, right? I'm actually worried with all these AI tools mushrooming among my students, ni kan? Kejap, sebab dah nak habis bateri sebenarnya. Can I just plug in? So what I worry about my students, macam, they do not want to think so much. They just want to the ChatGPT or whatever AI tool, right? So what would happen to our new generation, kan, if it's happened? For us yang already working, of course all these tools are very helpful. Tapi kadang-kadang kita nak exercise lah juga. Yeah, we do not want to be so complacent, yeah. Sebab kita tahu kita boleh dapat dalam AI, for example, ChatGPT, for example. Jadi, I'm worried about our state of mind if we're so used to all these tools, yeah. Tapi of course, memang very helpful lah. I think kalau you know how to use it wisely, it can help us to kind of good presentation, kan? As long as you are using in moderate way, like if it helps you with your thinking, to make your presentation better, for example, I don't see any problem with that. Yeah, because with ChatGPT pun you need to have a good skill juga. Yeah, what kind of questions to ask to ChatGPT, kan? But I've myself, kadang-kadang I want to check about, especially macam technical things or about ISO ke whatever, I notice that, tak betul pun. Some of the information being given tu tidak tepat, especially in terms yang memang kita perlukan experts to explain. I found that ChatGPT, it's not good enough to really give even the correct or accurate thing. So do not believe anything that ChatGPT or whatever AI tools is telling you. You might want to check. You can check with the experts, you can check with other websites, for example, because apa yang they pull, all this information are coming from the websites juga, right? Ataupun macam student kita, how are we going to show that kalau buat online, katakan, do they come up with the answer themselves or they ask ChatGPT to do that for them? It's assignment, for example, kan? But alhamdulillah, there are some tools lah. Yeah, so students who are listening, don't be so happy about all this AI tool. We also knew what some of the tools that can counter back. Yeah, we can say whether this document is being written by AI or human. And there are AI tools that can check that also. But then again, I don't see any problem of using that. Cuma itulah, kalau boleh, you do not disclose any confidential information lah. Good, while you are asking ChatGPT or whatever, right? You might not want to disclose, any confidential information through your questions too. I know, perhaps, I'm sorry, I've not read the privacy statement from ChatGPT. There are so many AI tools out there. You might want to read the privacy statement, how they are collecting the information from you and what they are using it for. Would there be any privacy ataupun infringement of privacy and so on and so forth? You might want to do that lah if you want to check whether you are there might be some other problems like cybersecurity issues or privacy issues. Yeah, but thank you for the question. I hope menjawab.
Okay, Doctor. So we move along for the next question. This question is from our staff, IIM staff. Scammers makin advance. Lagi-lagi dengan kewujudan teknologi AI. Apa pandangan Doktor daripada Nur Izan Ali Akbar?
Betul lah. With AI tool, it's not just about the scammer lah. How to say? Okay, AI is just a tool, right? Just like a knife. Kan, you nak guna cara baik ke untuk kebaikan ataupun keburukan, right? So, but then again, janganlah salahkan AI ni. AI ni punya pasal, bukan AI punya pasal, kan? Orang yang menggunakan AI tu yang punya pasal, kan? So it is just a tool. I think we need to be responsible enough lah, to use it untuk kebaikan, or untuk keburukan. So then again, if the AI tools are being used by scammer, keburukan lah jadinya. Contoh lah, it's not just a scam, it can become a cybercrime pun. Dengan AI, kita boleh buat a lot of frauds, penipuan. Guna suara anak, contoh, kan, tiba-tiba call mak bapak. I think some of you might encounter this. Dia kata kononnya anak dia tengah menjerit. So anak you, I dapat kidnap anak you, contoh. I'm already kidnapping your daughter. So you might want to pay before we release her, for example. Padahal anak tu elok je kat sekolah. Tapi the criminal ni, they use our children's voice. So it's a fraud lah. Audio fraud. Untuk kita supaya kita boleh bayar. I think recently keluar dalam news. Ataupun dia boleh guna AI, they can use AI to guna gambar anak kita, right? And itulah, na'udzubillah lah, kan deep fakes and so on and so forth, kan they can use AI tools for that, right? They can use AI, muka kita ni jadi tua ke, jadi muda ke, and similarly, they can use your photo for a lot of other reasons, for whatever fraud that they want to come up with. So yes, AI is a tool that can assist the criminals to commit their crimes in whatever way. Harap menjawab soalan.
Okay, Dr. Nuha, thank you so much for answering all our questions. Our last opening lah, maksudnya ada lagi soalan ke yang kita boleh yang audience ingin tanyakan? Kami open jika tiada.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank again the Integrity and Governance Unit for inviting me. I'd like to apologize if there is any wrongdoings on my behalf. I'm just a human being, kan? So kalau ada salah dan silap, harap maafkan. Harap-harapnya, you know, I'm really hoping that you can share whatever you new things that you learn from my talk today, you can share with others. Yeah, to remind each other about a lot of things lah. Yeah, you can start with yourself. Yeah, you can start at home with your children. You need to remind them, yeah, about playing games, about sebab dalam games pun, right? Dia dah jadi macam social media dah kan dalam game ni. You can chat with people. So similarly, cyberbully can happen through games. So sexual harassment can happen through games. Extortion can happen through games. And anak-anak kita memang semua main game. Kalau tak anak-anak pun, kita sendiri pun main game. Kan? Sebab ada satu talk ni saya bagi pasal cyber parenting. Tapi ada seorang parent tu dia kata, macam mana saya nak jaga anak saya, doktor, suami saya pun main game non-stop. So anak saya ikut, gitu. Kan? So, kita sama-sama lah mengingatkan diri sendiri dan ahli keluarga dan kawan-kawan, ya. So do things moderately lah, ya. Try to apply self-regulation. Kita tahu benda ni tak elok untuk kita try lah, ya, as much as possible to follow ke, to prevent ke. Macam saya memang when I give talk, it is a reminder for myself juga, kan, for me and my children, ya. And I memang saya rasa to raise children dalam zaman sekarang ni dengan ChatGPT-nya, AI tool-nya baru, pening dengan social media dilema, dah keluar AI dilema. Memang dilema kita kan dalam zaman yang mencabar ni. So it is a very challenging period for us to actually, you know, jaga anak-anak kita insya-Allah ni, So itulah habis. On code. On Tapi habis. You boleh dengar kot, So I think that's all from me lah. So thank you so much for joining us today, for your attention. Minta maaf kalau ada salah dan silap. Assalamualaikum.
Baik, Doktor. Terima kasih. Dah hujung-hujung ada teknikal.
Sampai dah hujung.
Okay, Doctor. So, we, on behalf of the organizer, would like to express our highest appreciation kepada Dr. Noha. We are privileged to have had the opportunity to benefit from your insights and your experiences. It is hoped that it will increase our knowledge, our IIM community knowledge, and strengthen good governance as well as enculture integrity and good values within IIUM. We also would like to thank everyone for your participation in this program. We end our program with Tasbih Kafarah and Suratul Was. Assalamualaikum. Thank you. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum.